Hey Brazil, it's Nikki Lane, and you're listening to 89 FM, a Radio Rock.
Fala galera, beleza? Eu sou o Wendell Correia e hoje eu vou conversar com a cantora Nikki Lane para falar sobre o novo álbum que ela está lançando, chamado Denim Diamonds, falar com ela sobre isso e mais algumas curiosidades, tudo com exclusividade para 89, a Rádio Rock. Where are you now, Nashville?
In Nashville, yeah.
You've been living in Nashville for a lot of time now, right? You choose the city to live. It's a musical city as far as I know. I've never been there, but I know there is a lot of music, especially live performance.
Yeah, there's a street downtown where there's probably like 60 or so bars that have music from 10 a.m. to 2 a.m. With just a very early morning off every day. And it all plays cover music from all the different eras of country music. And most of us over here on the east side, which is where the independent kind of hub of country music comes from, would say that we only go to one or two called Robert's Western World, where they play all the old classics. But there's a lot of music here and also a lot of musicians, so it's easy to have people to take on the road. And then it was an affordable place to kind of span out and have your van and trailer and house and stuff because you need a home base when you do something like this.
That's great. I hope one day I can make it to Nashville. And have you ever been in Brazil?
No, I have not. And I have interest in doing so. I ride motorcycles and I have a helmet that's from a maker down there, Joe King, and he lives in Sao Paulo. And so I would love to come and visit you guys and ride motorcycles near your town.
Yeah, I hope you can make it. And great albums, really. Hearing the album, I really mean it's a great album. Really nice to hear the full album, the sequence. And how was the process of writing, recording the new album?
The songs kind of came from all over. There were a few that are almost 10 years old that kind of the sentiment of everything going on in the studio made me kind of show them as like potentials to the whole band. And we selected them. But then there are songs that were written just for the record. Denim Diamonds, I knew was going to be the title a couple years before I started writing it. It just sounded like a good theme and title of like a narrative that I was going to follow. And I didn't know what the record was going to be about. Not that it's ever about something specific. It's about what's going on. But it turned out to be something that was about kind of looking back at the past and my childhood and the things that kind of created my my career because they created my personality and persona. So that evolution became something that I see on the record. And making that record with someone like Josh Homme with a rock edge, I think gave it an opportunity to be vulnerable, but still with an edge on it too. So it's just perfect for me.
Yeah, it's great lyrics. You talk about some things that everybody can connect with, and you give some advice, especially to the young people. That's what I felt when I first heard the album. Is that what the intention when you were writing the lyrics?
I wish, because that would be so smart, but I was writing them for myself as I do, I was giving myself the advice. And so it's great when it connects with people. And I know that other people can resonate and agree with it, because it's so hard when you're dealing with personal struggles to even believe other people experience them. So on a song like Pass It Down, where I'm just talking about the different kinds of communities you could enter into where you can just say what's up, to the people around you, be it something like a tough motorcycle club or going to church or something, but really just relying on your peers to give you feedback about what's up. And I think that's what music is for me. That's what Nashville is for me now, is just a hub of creatives that have my back and kind of tell me that like what I'm doing and feeling is completely normal, and it helps me kind of keep going. And so that's what the record is about, because that's real, but it's great to know that it'll make other people feel like there's a connection.
And you have like a dream team of musicians on the album. How was working? Josh Homme, Ellen Johannes, Dan Fertitta, Michael Schumann, Matt Helders, and Carlos. I hope I didn't forget anyone.
No, only Matt Penn, who is my personal guitar player and pedal steel player who plays on lots of stuff. He's on there too. And I love that he got selected. Josh asked me to look into who I would want to maybe bring with me. So I brought my MD to go along those guys. That's like the greatest roster of bandmates. Honestly, I don't get nervous about much in my career anymore, but I was not apprehensive, but just, afraid that maybe they wouldn't like all of these songs that I was bringing to the table every day. But watching them connect and create ways to put their own experience and long careers of tasteful music making on my songs, and then also work together, because a lot of them have worked with Josh and a lot of them have worked together, but they hadn't worked together as that group before. So it was fun to watch them, meld to make my music, and then watch myself and Matt be able to join into their group and become part of a unit and collaborate together. It was inspiring every day, every moment. I like to watch and keep everybody really fed and lots of snacks. Like, I like to nurture, because I'm like, I only know how to do some of this, but I can't wait to watch you guys do the rest.
And was everybody together in a studio, was via Zoom, something like that?
No, because even though it was like during the COVID time, we were able to test in and agree to be like a bubble. And so other than people's spouses and children, we were trying to just stick together in little 10-day windows. And we did a really good job. We got all the way through it without anybody having any problems. And so it was I think made it even more intimate for all of us as musicians at that time, whereas we were always having a great time in those collaborative recording experiences. But I think we were so starved for human interaction that we even more so were like, oh, we're a unit. We just had a great time. We were a crew. And like I say, to grow up listening to this music and a lot of these musicians on this record, and then to be able to play alongside them, and even more so to have them want to help me develop my own sound, is very cool.
It's great. And I know we are not going to have enough time to talk about other tracks. I want to ask about some of them, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
And the first track, the opening track, First High, why did you choose to be in the opening track of the album? What means this song for you?
I think the natural build and the arrangement of the song even just kind of meant that it needed to be the beginning, or the beginning of side B, which it would never get pushed that far. It was my favorite kind of right when I finished it. It was a bad day that I wasn't going to write, and then was kind of encouraged to turn it into a good day. And so I set my tone. I want a Sheryl Crow sounding rock song right now, and I'm going to go down there and I'm going to get high. And if I get really high, then I'm going to come back. I'm going to write lyrics to it, and I went and smoked my little joint, and I walked back in, and then 2 hours the song is on, and I was riled up. I put that energy in as encouraged, and I felt that kind of starting the engine, which is literally what the verses is about, and I thought that had to be the beginning, the firing it up to start your drive to listen to my record, to start your day, to start that change that you're going to enact in your life, whatever it is. I just think it's chasing that childhood dream. It gets harder, the older I get, but even in the fun of the music video that I did, you see that it's just you can always find a way to do something again for the first time.
Yeah. And you say, take me back to the first show. Do you remember the first rock and roll concert you've ever been?
The first rock and roll, I laugh at myself, and I said, because it goes along with the other lyric in the verse, is Bon Jovi. My mom took me to and gave me a disposable camera, and I took a whole roll of photos of his butt. But then I soon got into, at first, Christian punk, because I was allowed to, and then pop punk, and then down into rock and roll music as I got old enough to drive. And I remember sneaking out to shows, cutting up t-shirts like the girls in the Aerosmith video, just learning how to get my rock and roll side stuffed into a backpack so that I could get to a concert and let loose. I knew I wanted to live in California before I knew much of anything else. I didn't know what was out there, but I knew that it was wilder. And so that pursuit of that, I tried to kind of encompass again in this record.
Great. And the song that is also the video, Black Widow. What inspires you to write this song, Black Widow?
I didn't like that someone had referenced that I might be like a Black Widow. I don't think that's true. I think I've got my own personality traits, of dominant behavior, being a boss or whatever, but I don't think of myself as the traditional character of the Black Widow. But I felt challenged by the notion. And so I said, well, what if I was? And so we wrote that song as if, if you don't think that I am, or if you do, stand there and look oblivious, and just a song of kind of that defiant woman, which is again, when you look at the rest of the record, it's a character that's a part of a thing that's also very vulnerable and is shown in other ways, but a Black Widow shows no mercy. So I liked going there as a subject matter. I thought that it's, in terms of making a record with all the people we just talked about, it gave them an opportunity to just let loose, and you need that on a record, and so we had it in that song.
Great. And the song, the last track, Chimayo, is an acoustic song. And Chimayo is a place, I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Yeah, Chimayo. Yeah, in New Mexico.
It's a place in New Mexico, right?
Yeah, and so it basically is a region where a tapestry comes from like saltillo will come from Mexico or Navajo from Native Americans in the Navajo region. And so it's a weaving, but it's used in things that are now collectible antiques, including these jackets that are worth like a small fortune. And one was stolen from me, and it was of sentimental value, and it also tested the safety of being in my household because it was taken alongside some other things at my house. And I grew up reading Western novels, which are very visual depictions of the American West. And so when I started touring out there, I could really see, where everything came from. And obviously, especially when it comes to natives, it's a checkered past with the way we have moved and become settlers of America in that way. But I wanted to write a battle song that was talking about something as simple as going to a campsite and taking a blanket, but unknowingly that blanket was lined with the gold and valuables, which was something that really happened in that time period, or maybe it was a spiritual, hand me down or something. And just the in-depth battle of trying to touch somebody's shit, I guess, so to speak. And just the being dramatic, you can tell I can't speak Spanish very well. So coming up with even the line "Ese el final," so that I could say this is the end. That took work for me to find something that would sing, which is so silly. I need to tune in more, but it sounded dramatic and like a great opportunity to close out a record.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song. And do you have a favorite track on the album?
There are things that get not really overlooked, but are easy to skip, like "Live and Love." That's 2.5 minutes. That's very simple lyrical content, but that are really deeply personal and took a lot for me to want to put them on the record. So they become favorites in that way. I think the most beautiful song that I've ever written, just in my opinion, because I always said before it was "Send the Sun," is "Good Enough" because of the sentiment. It's a true love song that I had to write about my grandparents to even feel that kind of purity and perseverance versus my own life, which is I haven't had anything nearly a 65-year relationship. So I wanted to write a song about like enduring all things for love. And so I wrote that, and I thought it was quite beautiful, but I had to write about somebody else to get there. So I really like that one, and I lean on that one a lot when I think about like soft moments.
Yeah, I love the verse. I just want to live a love until I die.
Yeah.
It's what
it's a good one.
everybody wants.
That's all you want. It's so simple, but it's hard sometimes.
Thank you so much. Appreciate the
Thank
interview.
you.
Thank you for our time.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope I see you again.
Hope you can make it to São Paulo in Brazil.
I've got to. I'll come see you when I do. Have a nice day.
You too. Thank you so much.
89, a Rádio Rock.